Today's episode is going to be a brief update, and then I'm going to share with you a little bit of a revelation that I had. Welcome to the Up in My Business podcast with me, Lex Lancaster, where you'll get an inside look at all things tech, business, and my life as a physical therapist turned digital operations expert. You'll hear all about my lessons as a business owner, the ins and outs of tech for your business, and more. From SEO, websites, and email marketing to automations, launches, and copywriting, I've got you. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in. Welcome back to another episode of Up in My Business. I haven't recorded in 2 weeks because I pre-recorded last week's episode for my birthday because I took the day off from work. It was such a great day. Shanté took us hiking, and by us, I mean us too, but also Moose. And, you know, she knows that there are a few things. Well, she knows this, but also I said it out loud to her. I was like, there are a few things that, make me really happy. And one of them is seeing Moose really happy. Another one is obviously seeing Rupert happy. And I said having the zoomies, especially when Moose is out going to the bathroom or when Moose isn't home. And 3, seeing her really, jazzed up about something work-wise or life-wise or whatever. So I will say that everything, it was great. We went hiking. We actually had lunch at this really cool spot on the beach in Malibu. I will say that I have never been to Malibu, so I don't have anything to compare it to, but the fire devastation from last year in 2025, wow, is basically all I have to say. It's just that it's devastating. You drive down Highway 1, which is right next to the ocean, and there are homes that are built, I would classify it on the ocean. They're on the big stilt things that are cement and whatever, but all you can see is burnt up homes and what's left over. And it's just, that was a really devastating thing to see. Obviously, again, we don't live there and I had never seen it before, but I cannot imagine what it used to look like, just because as you can look around and say wow, that house is still existing. And right next door to it, it's completely, decimated. It's crazy. It's just insane to see the difference and who was affected, who wasn't affected. And then seeing where the fire came down the hill and then jumped the highway. And it's just how does that even happen? And then again, you see houses that were just fine. And then you see houses that are right next door that are not fine at all. Oh, that was just really rough to see. You just feel terrible that happened. And, with a fire, they did say it was arson. So, you hope it never happens again. But again, it's just, man, cannot believe the damage that did. We came back home. Shanté had cupcakes delivered to the house because she knew when we'd be home. And then she had found a restaurant to take me out to dinner to get my favorite food, which is sesame crusted raw tuna. Now, she had thought that I would want the tuna seared more. And I'm like, no, I like it raw. The raw tuna is so good. I genuinely love it. And I don't love most seafood, to be honest. I'm not a seafood person. But raw tuna is definitely my jam. So it was a really, really great birthday. No notes, just the best. And so appreciative of Shanté for setting it all up. And she also surprised me at dinner with a card. And she did this last year too. She brought it to dinner. And inside the card, which was a really cool card. I should have taken a picture of it. I did. I think I'm going to put it up. Inside the card was a ticket for a comedy show for Stand Up for Equality comedy show in downtown LA. So we went there on Wednesday night and it was great. It was so fun. I love comedy shows. One of our favorite people, Rachel Scanlon, was performing as well. She was a guest, and also saw Tig. I don't know her last name, but it was really great. Such a great night. We had fun. And just it was a really, really great birthday week. And if you decided to take advantage of my flash sale, thank you. I appreciate you. I know there are a few of you who decided to indulge in some courses, and I hope that you enjoyed them. With that being said, I feel like we can jump right into the episode. I don't have too many life business updates. Everything is same old, same old. I am currently super stuffy. So Santa Ana winds are here and my allergies are it kicked up my allergies like crazy. So I'm like breathing really heavy because I can't breathe through my nose. It's been a couple of days now that I've just been so stuffed up. So welcome. But I'm talking very quietly because, or I feel like I'm talking quietly because I don't really have the energy to like project. And I feel like I'm trying to conserve my oxygen because I just feel so stuffed up. So forgive me obviously you'll have good sound because I'll turn it up on the post-processing side, but I'm like, struggling just to get through. And I'm not over here, don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining, but I will tell you, I grew up with terrible allergies on the East Coast and it feels to be like that right now. Like my nose is so itchy and I keep crinkling it while I'm recording because I keep getting a little nose itch and oh God, and now I'm yawning. I haven't had allergies like this since, I don't know, probably, 5 to 10 years ago, but widespread, but I don't even remember. So it's just like, I can't breathe at night and I was dying. But anyway, I'm just trying to think of what else I wanted. I had written down a couple of things. That's really it. Personal stuff. Nothing else is really, no updates there. I will say the personal side of things and the business side of things go hand in hand right now. So I do have, just so you're aware, when I look at my do it in a day, my custom website calendar, I have openings. I have one opening at the end of April and I need to double check my schedule, but I don't think I have another opening until late June or August. And I'm looking at my calendar, like something isn't right with my scheduler because I'm not seeing what I should be seeing for my do it in a day appointments, but I digress. I will double check that. But what you should be aware of is that if you're looking for a custom website or to work with me I'm going to say the words any capacity, because that goes into what I'm going to talk about today. You need to make sure you book an appointment, discovery call, or anything sometime soon because I am booking up, especially for websites because folks are booking ahead. And I am so grateful for that. It's so helpful because then you have enough time to actually get everything done for the website. So it is very, very helpful and folks are just booking ahead. So my availability is definitely just slim, which again, I'm going to talk about more of that today. I think that's really it. If you're on my interest list for the Google Ads course that I am going to be running in some capacity, then you should have an email in your inbox to fill out a survey, a form, because I would love your opinion on how to run the course, how you would appreciate the course being run. I have a clear winner right now as far as like what people are voting for. I sent the form out today, but it would be yesterday as you're listening to this on Monday. And I'm seeing a clear preference and we'll see how it shakes out. I'm going to try to please the masses or please the people who are one, who fill out the survey, but two, so that there's, the option that most people chose. I know that some people do better with live stuff. Some people do better with fitting it in their schedule however they please. I do like the layout of like a self-led course, like SEO school, and then Q&A calls. So we'll see how it ends up shaking out. I'm excited for it. It'll be different. And I haven't, whether I decide to do it live or pre-recorded, based on that feedback that I asked for, I'm excited for it because I do think it opens up another lens of things, which again, I will hopefully circle back to that today by the end as far as like my thoughts around that. So if you have not filled out that form and you're on that interest list, make sure you fill out the form. And if you're not on the interest list, I will put a link in the show notes to get on the interest list for Google Ads. Social ads will be next, but Google Ads, get on the interest list. I am not going to be launching this publicly. It's going to be done on the back end to the waitlist only. So yeah. And I guess, I should have said this earlier. I am gearing up for SEO school launch. And again, I'll talk about this in the episode today, but you can expect this will be like the last round of the course that is run the way that I have been typically running it. I'm changing one thing about the live calls, but I will be changing how I'm running SEO school for the future. Don't know exactly how yet. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm not going to have the same exact structure as far as like hybrid course. And I'm not going to have I don't think I'm going to be having a big launch for it until fall of 2027. And that's like, I didn't misspeak, 2027, not 2026. So it'll be now. And then I actually think I'm going to skip this fall, skip next spring, and then launch it again fall of 2027. And that'll be like an official launch. I'm not going to, I have a plan for like the in-between period, but launching it and offering it the way that I am doing it now, I don't think I'm going to be doing that in the fall. Not because I don't want to, but because of, again, what I'm going to talk about in the episode. So with that being said, I think it's finally time that I, talk about what I was going to talk about. The biggest thing that I want to talk about today is, one, I want to talk about how a revelation that I had, and not because I just came up with it, but because Shanté and I were talking, to the value of having someone else ask you questions, especially if you're an external processor, me. And I guess 3, allowing things to change and allowing that things to change and being okay with it, and maybe altering your perception or the way that you feel about something based on new information. So the long and the short here, I'll just start at the beginning. Some point about a week and a half ago, it was the week before my birthday. So a week and a half ago, I was sitting on the couch and I looked over at Shanté and I was like, I would love to talk to you about my business, because we live in the same house. She does business coaching. I don't, after last year, I absolutely do not trust anyone. And I say that very pointedly. I don't trust anyone with my business, and I don't want to hire anyone except for Shanté. So I told her, I was like, I will pay you for a coaching call. Like, please just let me ask a question. And I had no intention of her just talking to me, because again, like it's a boundary thing. Like, we are in a relationship, but at the end of the day, and I talk about this with other business owners who are in relationships as well. And it's just like, at the end of the day, we're in a relationship, and the expectation is not that she's like my built-in coach and I'm not like her built-in tech person. And obviously she doesn't need that anyway, and I don't really need a ton of stuff either, but I'm like, when I'm in my head, it's very helpful to talk to someone. And that's why I totally understand having a coach. Like, I totally understand needing that and having someone to bounce your ideas off of. So I had said to her, I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I am feeling, I'm not like, I love my job. I love what I do. And I'm like, I feel though, like I don't have, like something isn't right. Something isn't feeling flowy. Like, I'm just not feeling flowy is kind of like where the conversation started. And what it came down to, or what it ended up becoming, is in my mind, because when you have offers in an online business, there is something called a value ladder, and Shanté has the value ladder on her website. You can download it, I believe, as an ebook. So when you have a value ladder, you look at your free things, your low ticket paid, medium ticket paid, webinars, what have you. Then you look at your high ticket paid, and then you have your signature offer. Well, for me, in my brain, I was thinking that SEO school was my signature offer. SEO school is definitely not my signature offer. My signature offer is done for you services. And Shanté was like, that's not your signature offer. Your signature offer is your done for you services. And I was like, oh my God, you're so right. Because like in my mind, I was sitting here, trying to figure out when to launch SEO school, what to do with SEO school, like feeling a little bit of pressure in different areas. And I was like, I don't know what to do. And I'm very much so an external processor. Like I said, like once I talk about it out loud to someone, typically things like come to, they get a lot clearer for me when I speak out loud. And like, I can sit here in my office and talk to myself. And I do voice journal, if you will, into like my voice notes app. And like, sometimes I just get these revelations, if you will, of like, yes, that's it. But I was just really having a hard time with this specific thing. And she was like, well, that's not your signature offer. SEO School is not your signature offer. SEO School right now is my signature course, but it's not my signature offer. My signature offer is my done for you services. So at the end of the day, I said, I know there are people, you may be one of those people who are waiting for SEO School to open in the spring. And I always have a handful of folks who are like, I'm waiting for the course to open. I can't wait for it to open. And that is like, to be honest with you, that is one of those things where I'm like, I appreciate you so much. And if you're one of those people, just know that I appreciate you so much. And I appreciate knowing that you're waiting for it to open, because how I executed the next decision, was because I knew that. And I had said, I'm going to open the course in the spring, and I've been saying that since the fall. So I was like, oh my God, how can I, rework things so that everything feels good? I feel more flowy. And the easiest answer for this is to take SEO School and make it a one time a year launch. And by one time a year, it's just like, that is the focus period of doing the Instagram content, making sure that I'm, doing the waitlist launch, the public launch, etc., and doing that one time a year, hosting the Q&A calls for 6 months, one time a year, rather than having it launched twice and having to host them all year long. Now, again, I haven't made any final decisions and I haven't made any final plans. But what I do know is that the revelation I had was that's not my signature offer. I have to have SEO School fit into the lens of my existing signature offer, which is my done for you services, and putting that more on the pedestal than SEO School. And, SEO School, this is the new curriculum is bomb. It is bomb. And I know that because the questions that I got this cohort were very, very different from questions I got last cohort. And honestly, the questions that I get this cohort are mostly because I'm prompting them, not because people don't know what to do. And that's been really awesome. So I will say that the course content itself is just it's right where it needs to be. And I'm really, really proud of it. And so why did I start talking about this? Because the SEO School cohort I do calls and I do Q&A calls, and I do believe that I want that to be a resource for folks. And so I haven't yet done a second launch without filming the course, because when I was, when I redid the course, a lesson for you, I guess, if you don't already know this, I didn't have to have the full course filmed yet when SEO School started, because they get modules released weekly. So there was no reason for me to have the full course filmed. That doesn't even make sense, right? I had most of it filmed, but not all of it. So this past fall, I had to film modules. I had to get the emails ready. All of that stuff was being done. So I have yet to have a cohort where I'm just, executing the Q&A calls and the emails and the check-ins. So this will be that cohort. And then, if I transition to once a year, I personally feel like most people have more success in the fall, meaning they have more time to set aside with work and such between October and April rather than April to October. So in my mind, that would mean that if I'm going to change to a one time a year launch, I'm going to change to fall of 2027 after I execute this spring cohort. So it'll be this spring cohort, and then I'll skip this fall because that would mean a second one this year. And then I would launch again in fall of 2027. Again, I'm not sure if I'm going to do this. I don't know. This is me actively telling you, I don't know what the future holds, but I'm leaving it open to the possibility that I may not open it again until fall of 2027, because it really does make sense. So, I'm not about false urgency. I'm truly not. So if you're someone who wants to hang out and wait and do whatever comes, if you're not ready to take SEO School now, but you've been waiting, you can wait, do that thing. Just, if I don't end up launching at the end of the year, that it's going to come in fall of 27. And then if something ends up, going extremely well this spring, and I decide I could actually add it to the fall schedule, then I may do that. We'll see. But again, I do not know, because again, as I was going back, I was like, I need to, I don't know, I need to fit this into my existing done for you services. And I do feel like at that point in time, before I talked to her, I was like, I just I don't feel flowy, and I don't know why I don't feel flowy, but it feels like something is not right. And I was just I was trying to transition everything to be targeted toward my signature course, rather than just being like, that's not my signature service. My signature service is done for you. SEO School is just a supplement, right? Just like any other of my courses. So that was a super big revelation for me. And again, like just saying this out loud so that maybe this has been something that you've gone through. And number two, if you're an external processor and you need someone who has like an unbiased opinion and someone who can just listen to you and point to things, then you need a coach or have a coach. Because like when you're stuck in your head like that, especially for me, I end up sitting there and I'm, just circling and circling and circling the drain. And I'm like, what is the problem? I don't know what the problem is. And it's always just a couple of questions from another person can be like so helpful and reframe all the things that you were circling the drain about. And that was just, really nice for me. And it was so relieving to just be like, oh my God, yeah, that is exactly what it is. And the other thing that I wanted to just touch on, because it does, go hand in hand with that, is just allowing things to change, and allowing, because you have new information, things can change. So because I have new information from this previous cohort, like I know that the Q&A calls could technically be shorter, because you don't need a full 2 hours on the Q&A calls, because the information in the course is it's solid. Whereas last cohort in last spring, I would say the 2 hours of Q&A calls, I actually was teaching a decent chunk, because I was like, I love the information that's in the course, but I recognize that you likely still have questions. So I was like, I'm going to teach a little bit more. And then I took all of that content that I was teaching extra and put it in the course. And so now I'm like, okay, the Q&A calls could be shorter, because I have seen the change. I've seen the benefit of the new content. And I am confident that if I were to shorten the calls or shorten the Q&A calls, the success would still be there for the people who decided to take the course. So that was like my big, allow things to change and allow things to evolve. And, I will also say that because I said you're going to hear about the schedule and the things that I'm changing. I also I will likely be limiting my schedule to be a contact form for booking a website, a custom website, or a discovery call only for custom websites. And then anything outside of a custom website, if that's not what you're looking for, then I'm going to be putting people on a wait list right now. And I'm very grateful for that. And I feel like there's always going to be a piece of me that wishes that I had more time, but I don't. And it is one of those things where, people pleasing tendencies, they run deep sometimes, totally through it and, dealt with it. But, I'm also a human. And so I think right now, one of the things that I had said to Shanté, I was like, honestly, I am booking people out, and for a website, you need to book out. I will not book someone anymore within a month. I struggle to book people in within a month and a half, because no one ever has their stuff done. And I say that with so much love, because I get it. I don't want you to rush through this stuff. So I am always booking people out for custom websites, but at the same time, with my existing done for you services, I am currently full, and I have been full, and I have an existing wait list. So with that being my signature service, for me to add other things is tough, right? Because then it's going to directly compete against the done for you service side. And that's the value of, in my opinion, the self-led courses, if you're someone who feels like you can do things yourself. And someone actually said on my little survey that I sent out to my Google Ads folks, they were like, having good information for clinic owners, even if we decide to hire out for it, having good information about it is really helpful, because it allows us to save money. And I was like, yeah, actually, you're right. And this is a total tangent, but even having this schedule that I have right now and not having room to help every single person who wants to work with me inside my retainer, the self-led options are also really good because they allow you a place to start, and they also give you the information that you are able to then take somewhere else if you need help. Like, you can book a coaching call with me. I will have very limited spots for coaching calls because obviously my lecture mind folks, and then I have an existing coaching call client as well, but they get first priority, and obviously my retainer folks. But you can always book a coaching call with me, like a one-off call. But the thing is if you learn, and I tell people this all the time, if you take SEO school and the only thing that you take from it is that you understand what can be done, what should be done, and then can like put someone else in check and like check them if they're going to be doing SEO work for you, great. Like, I have a lot of WordPress people who take SEO school and they say, I hired somebody else to do SEO after doing the course because I like it. I understand it. I just know that my time is better utilized elsewhere. Great. Awesome. I don't work on WordPress. And so they hire whoever else, and I have referrals for folks, and they're like, I know what people are doing. Like, I know what can be done. I know that they have to deliver me what they're saying they're delivering me, which then makes it, you're kind of unbamboozable. You can't get bamboozled. So, and in my mind, that's a huge thing. It's just like, it's kind of like going to the car dealership for me. If someone could just be like, hey, Lex, here's all the terminology you're going to need to know. Here's the stuff about window filters. Here's the stuff about your gas filter. Here's what to look for this thing when they offer you this upsell. Like, if I knew that information, I would feel much more confident going to the car dealer. And that to me, or the oil change place. And that to me is really valuable. So that's not saying you won't, be able to do it on your own, because you can. All of my stuff is super tactical, but it's one of those places where I'm just like, I agree. I think that I can only do so much. And the part of me that wants to help all the people is the part of me that's creating these self-led courses. And that's where this Google Ads course is coming from. That's where the social ads course will come from. I just have a really, really, I have I don't want to say a bone to pick. It's not what it is. I just have this like internal drive to be like, here, you can do this thing, or you can hire out for it. But if you do hire out for it, here's what to look for. It's just one of those things where I do feel like that's super valuable for folks. And at the end of the day, if you're well informed about something, you're able to then make better decisions. And I see people all the time advertising things on social media and saying like, this is your problem. Here's how to make $1 million in 2 days, or, get 16 clients in your door tomorrow with this social ad. And I'm like, this is frustrating. And I'm not going to be the person I'm not like I'm going to take your video and like record over it and do the reaction reel. Like, I don't want to expose myself to doing something like that. That's just not the way to go about it. I'd rather just like teach the positive side. But, I see those things and I'm like, oh my God, if someone reads this, they're going to think that this is the truth, or they're going to think that they're missing something, or they're going to think that this is what they need to know. And it just sends my body into this, icky feeling. And so anything that I can do to mitigate the icky feeling is something that I'm happy to do and helpful. And I love doing that. So that felt like a really super long tangent and a rambly episode. But to wrap us up, number one, I want to validate that if you are an external processor, being able to have a coach and have someone that you can run through ideas with, and also someone who can echo things back to you and ask you questions, is hugely valuable. I don't take it lightly that I'm allowed to ask those questions to Shanté, but also what I said earlier is very true, and that's never an expectation here. Number two, letting things evolve and change, and understand that like things may not be exactly how you assumed they were, and that's a-okay. And it's easy to switch things around, and it's easy to move things. It's most important that you feel like you're able to flow and you can show up 110% every day without having like heavy feelings in your brain because you just haven't solved the puzzle yet and you're circling the drain. And then lastly, if you're interested in SEO school, get on the wait list. If you're interested in the Google Ads course, you can get on the wait list for that. And I think that was it. I think that was it. I'm currently like reaching my limit of CO2 tolerance here is just so bad. Big breath. Okay. That's all I've got for you. Can't promise, I believe like next week, the week after that, all the way up until April 6th, I believe. It will be all about SEO. So different concepts about SEO as we're moving into the SEO school launch. So if you have specific SEO questions you want me to answer, feel free to shoot them to me. I'm happy to answer them as long as they make sense for an episode. And if not an episode, maybe a social post, happy to make those as well. So give me a shout if you have a specific question that you want answered, and I will do my best. All right, friends. Thank you so much for listening. I will catch you next time.